okay, Bob? I can't hear you. Maybe, Kathy, can you hear me? Let me double check. It might be me because AirPods. No, I can't hear you, Bob. Kathy, can you hear me? Let me. Kathy's on mute. It says my microphone is working. You guys should be able to hear me. Bobby, maybe at the bottom you just have to change uh your microphone.
How about now?
Now I can. Cool, cool. Yeah, now I can hear you.
You look familiar. You work with
I
get
work.
shit done
Yeah,
program.
I do. Sí, un poco. Sí. I'm
Sorry about
actually in the
missing you, Nick. I
hospital
was.
today.
Oh, you went to the hospital today?
My girlfriend is here, and she's super sick, so I'm just sitting in the room with her, and the doctor just walked in. Give me 1 second.
De hecho, sería bueno que te fueras sentando para que no te quedes dormido, porque yo entiendo que tienes sueño con los medicamentos, pero si es básico, saber que puedes tomar líquido sin que vomites. Y de hecho, también me gustaría que nos dieras la muestra de pipí antes de que te vayas de alta, para descartar que no haya una infección en la orina, pero también para hacer pipí, si necesito realmente que tomes.
Yeah, she'll get better. Sorry, the doctor just came in.
Pero más frecuente, frecuente. ¿Sale?
¿Qué pasa para caminar con eso en el baño? Solo necesitas desenchufarla. Okay, okay. Toma eso, mi amor. Okay. Sorry, guys. Yes, Bobby, I do. I work closely with Raul and Cody and Adam and Brendan, in the get shit done, uh,
Yeah,
stuff.
I made
That's kind of where all
I
this.
made a big mistake. I was with Brandon in the start of their program when it was affordable. And then I moved over. I kind of run out of money, and then I moved over to when I got some more money. I went over to the Raul's
Mhm.
program, which was part of Brandon and them. But I got a lot of help from them, but not from Raul and them. I really didn't get not a penny's worth of effort from them. I got everything I wanted from Adam and them, but I just couldn't afford it. I mean, Adam and them were terrific, but Raul and them other guys, they're just blowing hard smoke to me.
Yeah.
It really,
Well,
it really
go ahead,
depends
Kathy.
on what program you're in, though. If you're in the
I
inner.
just needed tech help, and that's what
Oh
Adam and
yeah,
them
that's
were
not
good at.
GSD. GSD is for the sales side, and
Well, I
Adam's
couldn't
group is for the
sell.
technical.
I mean, I went through a lot of. It's not a subject we should be talking about anyway, but it's just it took a lot of money out of my pocket for nothing. But let's just move on. I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm on this meeting, but you know, I don't even know what this meeting's about. I don't know how I got here.
Yeah, so well, this meeting every Sunday I have a Zoom call in order to just help people do sales. So I am really good at sales within Go High Level. I mean, I'm a part of Raul and
Yeah,
Cody's
I
program.
remember watching a lot of your videos. You know, they recommended when you made some good sales in that one program.
Yeah,
And
and so
that's how I knew you. Yeah.
yeah, so I go through kind of the process that I've been doing for quite some time, and help everybody in here. You know, Teresa's been here, Kathy's been here. Um, Dia has been in here. You know, I've met Dia out in Los Angeles. And so a lot of people inside the GSD group, as well as the Go High Level Mastery group, basically were just asking me kind of, you know, how are you selling so much? And I've narrowed it down to just a three simple step process. That simple step process is you have a, you know, 10 to 15, maybe 20-minute qualifying call. You charge the client $250 to get on a project scope document call, which that allows you to uh, get them to start paying upfront. It qualifies the client, and then you guys can both be on the same page by going through that entire project scope document together on the third call, which is basically presenting the proposal. And so I'll give you an example. I helped somebody the other day in the group, and he had come to me and asked me, "Hey, can you be on my sales call?" You know, I don't mind helping them on the sales calls, anybody on the sales calls. The idea behind it is for you to be inside the Go High Level Mastery, uh, you know, partnership program. And can I see this? Inside the partnership program. And anyway, so he I'll just give you a background what happened, and why this three-step process is so important, because it keeps every single thing on track. Um, he had a quick phone call with him the same way that you have the 10 to 15-minute call, and he told the guy, you know, look, I usually charge, you know, $100, $250. You could charge whatever you want. But he said, for you, I'll waive it, because he got super excited that he was in this meeting, and he was like, oh, I'm going to close this guy, you know, I'm going to get it going. And what ended up happening was that messed up the entire process. And the reason why that messed up the entire process is because when I was on the call with the client, um, we took a step back. We went through basically all the things that he was looking for in his business, and he admitted, like, yeah, you know, I need a proper system. I need a CRM system to operate my stuff. I let leads fall through the cracks. I'm driving Uber on the side because I need to you know, find business. And I told him, look, you know, we don't do ads. This is for companies that do you know, like they actually have a business, they have things coming in, because it makes the conversation as well as the payment so much easier. You're not trying to convince anybody. You're not trying to, you know, not, it's almost like you're not trying to be a car salesman to somebody like, oh, you need this CRM system. They already understand they need it, and they don't mind paying 10,000, 15,000, 8,000, $3,000 for it. And so since he waived that initial fee to do the project scope document, um, there was no incentive for the client to come back to another meeting. And so it ruins the sale, because the $100 holds them accountable to that final proposal call. And, you know, it was a learning experience for him, as well as me too, because I had not gone. Ella es en el baño, sí. And so it kind of loses the incentive for them to come back. So you're left with, you know, the client now being in control and saying, can you send me what you came up with, just to send me the price so I can take a look at it, right? There's no there's no desire from the client's perspective to come and see what you put together and how this is going to change their business, because the $100 or the $250 is not tied to that meeting. And so what ended up happening was the only thing that could happen, and that is you send the proposal to them, they see the price, and then now they can either ghost you, they don't have to respond. Um, and it's not easy to keep the progress moving in a forward, I guess, pace of
Yeah.
moving along with that. So that's what I have been teaching people, because it does work, and it works just for those reasons. Is the 250 does a few things to, one, qualify the person. Are they qualified enough, because they're going to throw in 250 bucks into, are they going to throw $250 into their business just to take a meeting with you? Because if they're not going to take a meeting with you, then you just saved your time an hour and a half phone call like we did the other day.
Mhm.
Now I get it. When you first start out, you want to be kind of like, you get excited, you get a client, and it's exciting, but
No,
I don't
I
encourage people
totally,
to waive that fee
no,
up front
I
just to be
totally,
nice.
I don't know if you can hear me now, but
I
uh,
can.
yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, and the qualifying of, and you find out if they're really serious, if they're going to pay you some money, they want to come back because they want to do it. But if they're just price shopping, it's not, they're not going to show up. But in my case, I was wanting to do everything. I just couldn't afford to do nothing else. But I screwed up. I should have stuck with Adam and them to start with, because they would have built a custom thing for me without me paying that, you know, that $1,000 a month or whatever it was. They had me on a $500 a month thing on the premium plan, but I quit because I ran out of money. So I've been fighting this thing because I've been doing it off of Social Security. That's all the money I got. And I
Yeah.
just make $1,000 a month because I worked for myself all my life. I don't have any bills. So I've just been struggling. And the niche that I really want to go after, I need to finish this back end before I'm confident enough to go out and sell it. Because I don't have anybody like Adam. If I sold a program, I can't get anybody to help me build it. I got it half built or 3/4 built, but I don't know enough to finish it even on my own. I got, my own customer, which is my own sign business, which is
Yeah.
my customer too. And I'm trying to build that up to get everything, automations all set up. I got everything but the automation set up properly. And I learned a lot trying to work with my son, because the idea of selling to another sign business, their employees are not going to want to use it to start with, because that's what happened here. But I've learned how to interview them and ask them, what is it that you need to, so you will use it. You can't force a square peg in a hole that's round. You got to work with what they
That is
want.
exactly what I preach. Like, the easiest way to find clients. So it sounds to me like you you have a lead problem of finding clients that need stuff done, right? Because you're
No,
looking at Adam and Brendan.
I haven't even tried to sell anything, because I don't have a way to fulfill it, or I don't have a snapshot even done that I can give them.
They can
Yeah,
build it for
so
you without, I'm sorry, Nick. I was
I
just
don't
going to
no,
have the
go
say,
ahead,
money
Teresa.
to, I don't have the money to pay them.
they, well, it's a different percentage, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, but even before that, let's back up, right?
Okay.
Because you're looking at this as an expense. This is an asset, right? And so when in any business, if I told you that for every dollar you put in, you get $3 back, how much money would you put in, right?
Well,
Like, yeah, you'd put in $1 million if you had it. It
yeah.
just makes sense, right? So at that point, then right now you're looking at it for every $3 I put in, I'm getting $0 back. That's where you're saying that you don't have the money to afford this.
Well,
So
I don't have the money to finish my snapshot because I can't, I've been trying to figure out a way to get some cash flow coming in. I mean, I got to the point where I'm gonna give away websites just to get them to pay for hosting. And
yeah, but that doesn't work. That this is my point. I want to take, like, if this is a linear line, you're in the middle. We need to go all the way back to point zero before you can get to the middle, because you won't have a sustainable business because you don't have this figured out first, right? And so in any company, if anyone that gets fired, like when they downsize, right? Like a corporate company.
Mhm.
I've worked at many corporate companies. They never will let go of their salespeople unless the salesperson did something bad, right? Like they I don't know, stole information and they shared it with the competitor or something like that. The
But
reason being is
I
because
got a mental block in that I cannot sell something and I can't give that person. I
no,
can't sell a
I understand
car I
that.
don't have. I got to have the
I'm
car first.
I'm gonna get there. And your situation was exactly where I was. And this is what I had to sit down and have a heart to heart with myself to figure out the problems that were hindering me from making this agency work, right? We all watch YouTube videos. We all watch these people that are supposedly making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in front of Ferraris. And it's like some of it I believe and some of it I don't. But like, if these people are so successful, what makes them so successful? And so this is where I want to back up. Like, don't think about you don't have the fulfillment team or you can't afford it, because at the end of the day, you do. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Um, when we go into this, there's a really good book that I want to recommend that you read. And the book is called Ready, Fire, Aim. And it's an amazing book. It basically goes out and tells you, go and take the first step and figure out the rest on the back end. And when you get to $1 million, then start building out the processes to make this, because you'll get to a point, and he uses $1 million. It could be, your first $2,000, right? It could, then you go to the next and you figure out the processes behind that. We have the power and the blessings of having Adam and Brendan be able to do that, right? What Adam and Brendan have built over the past 5 years would take us 10 years to build, plus hundreds of thousands of dollars to build out the right team. So when we go and we look at the process in the beginning, is you don't necessarily need to fulfill anything. And this is where I was when I was stuck for a year and a half. I felt exactly what you were saying. I can't sell this because I don't have the car to give to them. When I met Adam and Brendan, and Jimmy, I know that you're here. You don't know who Adam and Brendan are, but we're a part of a group called Go High Level Mastery with Adam and Brendan. You do know them. Maybe you're familiar with Go High Level Mastery. I'm just kind of giving everybody a background of who that is. But
Hi, Nick. I'm just a fly in the wall here, trying to learn as much as I can. I don't
yeah,
know people
it's
you're
cool.
referring to, and I'm just taking a
It's
backseat
cool.
here. Thank you for putting this group together.
Yeah, no worries. And so when I went to Los Angeles and met Adam and Brendan, I came to them with the exact same concern that you just brought up. And I was like, I'm in a hard spot. I lost my Airbnb in New York to squatters. They were living there. I lost so much money I can't even explain. And we kind of talked it out, and it was like, well, I can't do all of this. I have two clients, and it's terrible because I'm on calls with them trying to figure out stuff. Then I have to join your daily calls, and then you guys get on it. And I have to wait my turn, and I have to figure out, how to do this. And if I don't make that call, then my whole day gets ruined, because now I'm on to the next day and I'm trying to also get clients and I need to make money. And they were like, why don't you just give it to us? And that's where the partnership program came from. So my point is that you do have the tools and the resources to do that. The problem is you have limited beliefs in your mind that are holding you back from that. And so now we're in the middle here. Now we can back up on this linear line and go to, okay, what are the exact problems as to why I can't do this? And that comes down to a lead problem and, having people in meetings come up and show up into the meetings. Because if you were in Adam and Brent, if you were in the Go High Level Mastery group, you have a clearer understanding than most people in this industry of how Go High Level works, how the projects are built, how it can adjust a client's business for them. And at that point, now you back up and you go into the sales mode, right? Because there's two types of people in this industry. There's people that like to build, and there's people that want to make money and sell. And you can't have both. And the reason being is because a lot of time is taken from the build part, and you can't, if it took you, you get one client and it takes you 4 weeks to build, you're like this. You get paid and you get a deposit, and then you start building and you can't do anything because the money's going down because you're spending your time. So your time and your money is directly correlated into the profits. And so whenever you hear or see anyone online or anywhere where they're talking about how they're making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars selling Go High Level, they're doing one of two things. They either have an entire team like we do, or they're selling affiliate programs and they're just churning and burning, and there's no sustainability there. And so now you have to decide, am I a builder or am I a I don't know what I would call it, like a salesperson, right? Whatever you want to call that part. I call it a salesperson because I like to do the sales. And it's allowed me to scale this because now I'm dishing off all the work to somebody else. So how do we get to that point of getting rid of those limited beliefs? How do we get to that point of moving forward with a proper system to look at Adam and Brendan as an asset and not an expense? Because you said it yourself, I'm only making $1,000 from the Social Security, and I'm running out of money and I can't afford them.
Right.
The real reason is it's not that you can't afford them. You have this limited belief, and I'm not picking you out, or I'm not like giving you a hard time, because I was there. I did the exact same thing. I had this limited belief of, holy shit, every time I get a new client, I'm going to be so busy and it's not really worth it because I'm only going to make $2,000-$3,000, but that $3,000 is going to last the amount of time that it takes for my bills to be paid with that $3,000. And now I'm not making any money. I'm just making money to go to sleep and buy my food. And that's not going to last very long. Right. And so I took a step back with Adam and Brendan, and we sat down and I came up with the system to go out and just sell it. And that entire system is build out the project scope document. So now I'm in a position where my time is spent by being on 45-minute phone calls to an hour and a half phone calls. I charge the client $250 to be on those phone calls with that potential client. And I will do that all day long. If I get 4 meetings for $250, that's $1,000 right there. And so now I have a business within my business of I make $1,000 for every 45-minute phone call. It doesn't matter if they don't buy from me or not. They bought the project scope document. Now, once I pass that project scope document off to Adam and Brendan, they go and they come back and they say, hey, this price will be, we're going to build it for $5,000. I will go and sell it for $10,000. And now I have my KPIs. For every $1,000, I sell 2. If those 2 meetings if I get underneath two, or I only sell one, or it takes me 10 meetings to sell one, I know something is wrong in the sales process because there wasn't something wrong that was within the get the meeting. I'm not worried that I'm not getting meetings because for every four, if I charge 250, I'm making $1,000. So for every 8 meetings, I get paid $2,000 for not doing anything other than just being on a Zoom call and making a project scope document. That's it, right? So I know for a fact that for every 4 meetings, my entire Go High Level Mastery membership is paid. So I only focus on that. Now, when I go into this, I know that usually out of 4 meetings, I will close 1.5 to 2. So that means that now those 2 that I close, I'm going to be paid anywhere between probably $3,000 to $6,000 each. So that's anywhere between $6,000 and $12,000. So off of a $1,000 or $2,000 investment with Adam and Brendan, if my focus is only to get on meetings with potential clients, which is going to cover my membership, and the icing on the cake is I know that I'm going to close at least 2, for $1,000, I'm making about $6,000 to $12,000, depending on the price of the build and the quality of the build. And this comes back to what I said earlier. For every dollar I put in, I know that I'm going to get $3 back. So my focus is just on getting meetings set up. Now, at that position, where do you find these people, right? So now you have, so now we're moving backwards, right? Because I said the linear line, you were here. Now we're moving all the way back to the source of where do we need to focus to get you up to here? Because you're in the middle of this linear line. I don't have a piece of paper or anything, but if this
Yeah.
is 0 and this is 100, you're at 50. Just in this conversation, we backed up back to 0. And so you're trying to start at 50. We got to back up to 0. Because if I told you, if you got really good at meetings and for every 4 meetings you made $1,000, you would no longer start working at 50 because you know that a percentage of those, if that $1,000 is going to turn into 6 to 12. Does that make sense?
Yeah, all that work, works together, and I just had I tried to back up and make a new start, but my goal was to work with other sign companies and other businesses that really can't afford a full build. So like our sign business, we never could afford to. I started it in mid-90s. We hardly could afford the extra $100 a month to have a bookkeeper or whatever. We were shoestringing everything. And of course, I got $1 million worth of equipment now today out there almost, but over the period of 25 years, we've added $100,000 printers and all this stuff, and it made cash flow, so we basically could keep going. I had a hard time doing what I want to do and fitting it into what y'all are doing, and I wanted to help other sign companies get organized and have a system like High Level.
Now, okay, you made a comment, and I hone in on this
Yeah.
all the time. And the comment that you made is you can't fit a square peg into a circle hole,
Right.
right? And I'm going to use that metaphor to something that I think this industry and a lot of marketers and a lot of people like pound on all the time. And that is the riches are in the niches, right? And you always have to find a niche. I am extremely against that because that forces your client to, if they're a star or they're a square and you're a circle, you're trying to fit a square into this circle and it doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where how many sign companies are there? Let's just say there's 1,000 in the United States. I'm making it up. You have to now go find 1,000 and have 1,000 phone calls to find the 3 clients that are going to pay you, right? Whereas you can sell a solution where they tell you what they need,
Yeah.
and that gets brought out inside the project scope document stage of the calls, because now you are adjusting and morphing to whatever hole that they are. And so you don't have to sell anything. You're getting the client to want to buy from you. And so it goes back to that entire thing of finding the clients that have the money, is plopping yourself right in front of people that, one, know they have a problem, two, they have the cash to pay for it, and three, they're just looking for the right person and they're at the final stage of their buying cycle. So where do you find these people? You find them in chat rooms, you find them on Reddit, you find them on Upwork, you find them on Fiverr.com, where people go and make a post. Hey, I'm looking for this. Where can I find it? They might post it in a different way. What are the best CRM systems for XXXXX, right? It could be a computer manufacturer. It could be a hospital bed, company. It could be a sign company. It could be a veterinarian. It could be a power washing company, right? So this is why I'm super against niches, is because the solutions that we can build will always work for any business that says that they have a problem and they need someone to help build that, right? And so when you limit yourself to a sign company, and you already know that you did that for 25 years and you couldn't even afford a bookkeeper, at that point, you should know right away that, maybe this isn't the place that I
Well,
need
there's
to
a
be,
lot of,
unless it's a national sales company.
yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that make a lot more money than we did. We're in a small town. And we had four other sign companies competing in the same 50,000 area, So we actually we grew from zero to past them all basically in the 20 plus years. Some of them specialize in different things, and we got our really, our part was our share. I know there's what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense. And I watched some of your videos about, getting on Reddit and getting on these places and searching for people that are looking. I don't know. I had in my mind, wanted to pick out a category or a niche, as you say, and market to them. You're doing it more like you're going into spine in a group and waiting for somebody to say, I need help. And you're saying, I can help you,
Well, it's not even that. It's like, for instance, the quickest way to make this work is Upwork or peopleperhour.com or Fiverr. That's a platform the same way that Airbnb or Uber is, right? So Uber, you have a driver that's driving around and someone needs to go somewhere. There's 100 Ubers in the area. When I request an Uber to go to the basketball stadium, I click, I need to go here. It sends out a price to every single Uber driver that's in the area, and they get a notification on their phone and they say, I'll take that. And they hit the button. They come and pick me up and we do the transaction and he drives me to the place. It's the exact same way with Upwork or Fiverr or People Per Hour or all these different platforms. There's people out there that say, hey, I need this guy to do this, and that. And then you can go and look at it and you say, hey, I can do that. And you send a little proposal. Hi, my name is Bobby. I work with Go High Level. I can build automations. If you'd like, we can jump on a call. You jump on a call.
When you do that, do you set up your own account on Upwork?
Yeah, you set up your own little profile. You have a profile, right? Now, there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube that will teach you how to successfully, build up your profile and do this, that, and the other thing. My thing is and this comes back down to KPIs again. For every 4 meetings, I'll close 2. So this is what I do. And this is what I've found that works by doing such is they sell these little things called connects. And a connect is I don't know, a coin, whatever it is. For every $90, you get 300 connects. Each proposal that you send to the potential client can cost anywhere between, 12 connects up to 30 connects. If you take 90 divided by 300, each connect is about 15 cents. So 30 connects would be, I don't know, whatever 30
So that's
times
how they
0.15.
that's their business plan. How
Yeah,
they
that's
make money.
Upwork's business plan. Yeah. So to apply to hola, sí, está bien. Oh, okay, okay. Gracias. To apply to a project might cost you $4.50, right? So I don't look at it per, but I look at it like for every 300. So for every $90, I make about $1,000 because I'll land 4 meetings for every $90. Now, there's some nuances that come into that. I don't apply to jobs that I can't do. I don't apply to jobs that not necessarily like I'll apply to the ones in Canada and the United States, sometimes like England, but I think about it. I had a client in Israel. The time was completely like I don't know how many. I think we were like 10 hours apart. That's extremely hard to meet with somebody. I don't ever look at the budget. I've sold, on their profile, they'll say our budget is like $2,000. And they say that it's $2,000, but I sold them $11,000, build. So I don't look at that and I don't cancel out, oh, this guy only has $3,000 budget. That's not going to be enough money. No, because if I get them to buy the $250 project scope document, that enters them into the sales process. And now at that point, the price is irrelevant when you go through the sales process because I bring it to the client and say, well, wait a second. You told me for every roof that you fix, you make $10,000. And during the questions that I asked you, you told me that about 7 people are slipping through the per month. And if you had those 7 people, you could close 3. So really, a $13,000 build is going to allow you to bring in $30,000 a month based off what you told me. I didn't tell you that. I asked you the right questions. I found out what the value of a lead is slipping through the cracks, how much the average lead cost is. And so when they say there's a $2,000 budget, it's like, you can't afford not to spend $13,000 with me because you just told me that you're losing $30,000 a month from this. And then they start to see it and they're like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. The same way that I just told you, where you're like, yeah, that all makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah.
Is you don't know this, but I'm selling you right now. I'm not coming across as selling you. You're going to ask me, well, how do I get this? How do I learn how to do this? And I'm going to tell you, go and get my course online, right? And you'd be happy to buy it if you haven't already. And so this is the way that this is my sales process of going through, finding out what people need, delivering it in a non-salesy way, asking the right questions, providing value, and then just doubling down and focusing on getting $250 meetings all day. Because if I can get $250 meetings, I know that a portion of those are going to buy a $13,000, $20,000 build. And at that point, now we're in that linear line that you were talking about. We're at your 50% where you wanted to start. At that point, now you would be more than happy to pay Adam and Brendan and say, hey, I have this build. I've got 5 builds. And now I have this process down pat where I'm going to just send you guys all the builds. I don't have to do anything anymore. And you are more than happy to pay $1,000 or $2,000 a month because you have $15,000 coming in. That's where I think this industry really sucks at this because they don't have this type of experience of knowing what works and what doesn't, because they're watching all these stupid YouTube videos of content creators. What their job is to create content, get as many followers to watch their videos, and just
Yeah,
recycle these hook
most of,
story offer.
yeah, most of these people on YouTube that use high level but they're basically doing affiliate marketing. They're not
They're
building
not building out.
they're not
No,
building
That's
things.
exactly right.
yeah, they don't know how to do what we're doing
Well, a
because
couple of them have
they've
done
never.
it, but they decided that it was too much work and they'd rather just sign up people as an affiliate and not have to build nothing.
Yeah, and then they get really good at marketing, and they
Right.
make ads they make, the thumbnail for the video, how I made $10,000 a month and I have 40,000 people signed up for my Go High Level account. Click here. Well, whether they did it or not, someone whoever clicked on that signed up for Go High Level, and now they make, $100 a month from that person, and they're content creators. So they're creating
Mhm.
content to make
Yeah.
their money
It's
based off
like,
selling the picks and the
yeah, it's
shovels
just
to try to get
exactly
them.
years ago, it was real estate. I mean, a lot of people selling real estate courses that really, yeah, they started out buying houses and fixing them up and selling them, but they finally figured out, hey, I make more money with less work telling people how to do it instead of doing it,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
how do I move? I know you just explained it to me, but how do I get to the point where I can afford Adam and them? And will they even work with me again? Because I basically left them twice because of lack of money.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to I highly suggest that you go onto Amazon and you buy this book called Ready, Fire, Aim. That book, and there's another book called 10x is easier than 2x. Is you focus on high end clients, like clients that you never thought that you like. They're making $1 million a month, right? And you go and contact those types of people, and you position yourself extremely high in the niche that you want to create. And the niche I mean is like, what do you want to sell? You want to sell like a custom build? Do you want to sell missed call text back? You can still sell those types of things, um and hone in on like, what is it that Bobby wants to talk about. Really, I would not build, because you don't need to do the building, right? But if you were to go and present this to somebody, what industry or what like situation would someone want? Now, I'll give you an example. I have partnered with somebody in the capital raising industry. There's a problem there that internal relations members let a lot of accredited investors slip through the cracks through follow-up and through just not being able to stay on top of the potential investor. One of those problems is, once they make their investment, they also need to submit their KYC, which is know your client, which is your
Mhm.
ID.
Mhm.
If the round ends on the investment and they did not upload their ID, which is a stupid, simple thing to do, they
Mhm.
missed the email, the internal relations person didn't call them back, something like that, the company is required by the SEC to return their money, because they need to make sure that it's, anti-money laundering, like they didn't get the money from somewhere, I don't know, drugs or terroristic activities or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, they need to make sure that it's clean money. Now, what happens is that the investor might have put in $100,000. When they bought it, the shares were at $3 a share. When the round closes, that 100,000, $3 a share, was going to be worth $5 a share. Well, because they didn't upload their ID, the company is legally required. They cannot accept the money. They have to return it. And now that investor is mad. So what we did was we built an AI that goes out and just hounds the person that made an investment that did not upload their ID. It's super simple, but you know how much that's worth? That's worth millions in the capital raising industry, because if no one can, if no one's uploading their ID, they're having to return the money. Now that same process is really just, I don't know what to call it. It's not missed call text back. It's not, it's just a step in the process. And you know how easy that is to make?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
you add a tag inside the Go High Level account.
yeah,
Now, let's say you did that for a lawn mowing company in Springfield, Illinois. Well, that company is not going to pay $15,000 a month because it's not worth that to them,
right.
right? So that book, 2x is easier than 10x. When you find the problem that's in a very high end company, or it's fixed, like it's covering $100,000 losses compared to a lawn company that it's covering maybe $100 lawn cut. Now you can start charging way more money because it's way more value. And so
Yeah, I guess
what that
what that comes down to is your mental, it's a mental thing. You think, well, they're making so much money, they bound to know that shit already, but they don't, I guess.
they do not know that. They do not know that stuff. And this is where you come in as a consultant, not a salesperson. And I can't stress it enough, is that that project scope document call, the second call that you have, is the most important one, because you're capturing their customer journey as what they would love to see it, not what they're currently doing. Because when you sell something, you're transforming them from where they currently are to where they want to be. And that project scope document is that transformation phase of, wow, I didn't know that we could do that. I thought that we could, but I didn't know how to do it. And so that how is, wow, this guy Bobby knows what he's talking about. If I give him $20,000, he's going to give me $100,000 back per month, right? Now, if you work with a lower end company, they're going to say, well, if I give him $1, he's going to give me $3 back. And they don't see the value because it's really not that much, right? But when you read that book, 10x is easier than 2x, and that book, Ready, Fire, Aim, and you read them, like, I would say read 10x is easier than 2x first, and then Ready, Fire, Aim if you go and buy those books, because it'll transform your mindset of, I've been doing, because I mean, I'm going through the same process that you are going through. Like, I was like, I can't do this. My mentor told me you should read this book. Then my other mentor told me you should read this book. And those are really the only two books that I think anybody needs to read in business, is because that, and maybe the E-Myth, which is another book that I have not read. I like to read things in phases because I don't like to be distracted from what's working. Right now, I have something going. When I get stuck, I'll read another book. But when you start to think big, you start to work with big clients that you get off a phone call and they're like, yeah, I'll wire transfer you 10 grand right now, because it's not a problem. That you don't have to convince them. They're already convinced. They just needed somebody to get in front of them that they could trust, and that they know what, uh, you know, the person like yourself or me or anybody on this call knows what they're talking about and what they're doing, and has the team to deliver it. The team with Adam and Brendan, you will always have that. What does it take? Your question was, what does it take for me to get back in that group? Because I've paid them and then I got out twice. Is, you need to just go back to point zero and go and get 4 meetings for $1,000. And when you get there, call me. I'll get on your sales calls. I did it for Jeff the other day, and I'll get on the call and I'll close it for you. And at that point, now you're in the group because the client paid for your membership, right? And that's where this becomes an asset. I know I talked a lot, but I think that I was pretty clear in the explanation. I'm kind of proud of myself because I usually talk around in circles, and I was very clear on how I was making this conversation go.
Yeah,
I,
I agree. I think
uh,
you got it down pat, and I'm kicking my ass because I should have done this right to start with. When I was in the program, in their best program to start with for 500 a month, I should have fought like hell to just get that going. But you've been in the program for over a year before, or about the time I got in, and you
yeah,
were still.
I started in, I think, November of 2023. Um, all the way up until this September, I had maybe two sales. Um, and it was like it was frustrating. The time that I joined the group, I was in a very, very, really bad state in my mind, in my financial situation. I lost my house in New York. I finally sold it. Um, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I was stuck. And when I went to Los Angeles, Dia was there. She's on this call with us. I sat down with Adam and Brendan, and I told them the same thing that you told me in the beginning of this call is like, I'm afraid because I can't do all this work. And you guys know so much stuff, but it's taking away the time for me to learn this. There's no point in me learning this. I have a skill set of sales. I can sell. I understand that other people don't have that skill, which is
I know,
fine.
but you
And
had that corporate sales experience, and I remember seeing that coming out in your procedures and your strategies. It was like obvious that you knew what you were doing there.
yeah, and I now that I'm in this position where people are asking me for help, I sometimes don't think that I'm the best teacher, but I keep going back to the times that my bosses would tell me, like I would be in a call or a sales meeting with somebody, and they, I would feel lost. And I had this conversation, I think, with Teresa the other day, is when I didn't know something, I didn't know what to say. And my boss would just tell me, just tell them that you don't know, and then go find the information out and come back to them and tell them and tell them then. And so we ended up, so that's what I would do. Somebody's got football on in the background. Um, that's okay. I I had my headphones in, so it was loud. Um, but the sales experience can be taught, is my point. Like, yeah, I have
Well,
15 years of sales experience, but anybody can learn the skill set of sales if you learn the
yeah.
structure.
I mean,
And
I probably am better at sales than anything, and I hate working on the. I mean, you get on this thing, and I know you probably experienced this. You get into high level, and you start learning this stuff, and you start working on it, and all of a sudden, it's 3 months went by. You actually learned a lot, but you wasted 3 months.
yep,
You know.
yeah. Well, you definitely need to have a foundational structure around Go High Level and knowledge to be able to speak to it when
I feel
someone
like I
asks you a
am.
question.
I feel like I do have that now.
Yeah, so like, I was on a call with somebody the other day, and I'm gonna present a $38,000 proposal to them. They have a coaching business, and he's running it online, and he has a bunch of problems, like internal problems. Like it's hard to keep track of which sales representative is on the phone and close the deal when they go, and then how much money does he have to pay them every week, and he's late on the payments to the to the sales rep, and sometimes they get frustrated and they leave, and then they have to come back, and he has to hire somebody and train somebody over again. And he's like, if I just was able to keep the same sales rep, the problem is I get it. I'm their boss, and I have to pay them and I have no problem doing that. I just don't have a way to calculate how to do it because I don't know who they're calling. And then sometimes sales rep A is calling the same one that sales rep B did, and I don't know how to provide the proper, like who did what and who's responsible for this, and then pay them. And he's asking me, how would I do that? And I said, listen, you know, I know how to build out this stuff, but we're trying to make this the easiest, simple way possible. We're going to go through this activity today, and I'm going to send it to my developers. And then when they come back, they'll have a solution. For me to tell you exactly how it would work, it doesn't matter. We're just trying to go from point A to point Z. The stuff in the middle, the bullshit that happens there, that doesn't matter. That's not my job. My job is to get the information from you. Then my team, they go in and they figure it out in the shortest way possible, in the most concise way possible. And so, although I didn't answer his question, I kind of deflect it, but I assure him that this is what we do. And that's not my role in this conversation because I'm trying to keep this call under an hour. When we get on our call next, I will have a clear cut answer for you for that. But let's discuss. So I understand your problem is the problem is you need to keep track of who you need to pay for. And what that means is you probably have to have some sort of calculation. So let's move into the calculation. How much does the commissioned sales rep get paid for having a call? Do you have it per call? Do you have it per close? Do you have it per free trial? And then he was like, okay. And we went through the entire process. And in the middle of the call, he was like, holy shit, dude. This, you don't understand. I am going to start to be able to sleep well tonight because you just got everything from my head onto paper. And I have never gone through an activity like this. And I absolutely, like, I didn't understand what you were talking about in the beginning, but now as I see this being built out, I completely understand. And if you can make this work, I will fly to Mexico and I will buy you a Maserati because this will completely fix everything that I need completed. And it's just a conversation like I'm having with you, right?
Yeah.
It's not,
Do
and
you have, I know when I was still in the program, it was just beginning to have this partnership thing going. You were doing it actually before they officially had it. You kind of started it, like you said. Is there a form that you fill out that you ask questions about to these people, or are you just freelancing it?
I probably should have a form for me. Like I said, like, coming with 15 years of sales experience, I can think in the future during a conversation of where I want the conversation to go and then what questions I need to ask to route it to that way.
Yeah.
That is a skill set that it just takes time and practice
Mhm.
over and over and over again because I know ask this question, I'm going to catch him over here and get him to see his
Mhm.
problem by him seeing it, not me telling him that. Right.
Right,
So,
right.
like, I've done that with you in this conversation as we've been speaking. Is I did the little graph, you're at 50%, let's bounce back so I can catch you up to 50%. I like, I don't know how I do it, but I can see where I want the conversation to go to
Mhm.
do that. I think that I think nowadays with what we have with social media and whatnot, it's a lot different from back in the day when we started doing sales because
Mhm.
everybody feels as if they got on a call, they're being sold to. If you see an
Right.
ad or you see a webinar, you know that there's going to be some sort of requested money up front after a webinar, right? 10 years ago, a webinar was so cool. When Zoom came out, everybody was doing webinars. They didn't know that they were going to be sold at the end because it was value, value, value.
Mhm.
And my point is that when you go in with a structure, it's it's easy for the receiving end to see that you're trying to sell them something. So the active listening is super, super important when you have the foundational structure of being able to almost be like a chameleon and adjust your questioning to them. And that includes like the inflection of your voice of like, all right, so wait, I'm confused. Can you tell me like what would happen if you did this, this, and that? What does that look like? right?
Mhm.
You can change your inflection to where you're not coming across as salesy, but then you will use that answer to like come back on the fifth question that you ask in the future, right? And so for me, I never go into any meeting. Like Jeff will tell you the other day, he was like, okay, I'm going to catch you up to date with where this guy's at, what he's doing. And I was like, dude, you don't have to. I can direct the conversation like that. It's not a problem. I don't need to know anything. I could be like
It's actually
running a mile.
better not to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I could be like playing golf and have a sales call and still be able to do that, because as long as I'm listening, I can understand the pain points and then come up with the question next, knowing how Go High Level is built, right? So I always keep in mind the custom Go High Level is just a customer journey like map. That's it.
Mhm.
That's all Go High Level does. It just it systemizes the customer journey. If you can
Yeah.
know that and you don't worry about the emails and the domain setup and the A2P and all that, that's nonsense. The pipeline stage and the workflow of what needs to happen to move that person to the next stage is all you need to focus on during a sales call. That's it. And you just ask them, okay, what happens in this situation? And then how do they go to the next step? And the client will tell you. And throughout there, you find their pain points. Why is that important? What does that do in a monetarily, value situation for your business? And they'll say, well, if I could get 5 more people to book a call, I know that I'll close 50% of those people. Okay, and how much is each of that value, like what's that value? And they'll say like, $10,000, or that's 25 grand a month. Now you have your price. They didn't even know, they just told you there that you're gonna, not that you're raising the price, but like that's the value of it,
Right.
right?
For them, it's the
I mean,
value.
yeah, for them it's the value. And so I don't have a set script. My script is this is my script. A 10 to 15 minute call to qualify the client. And I ask the most open-ended question. Why'd you take this call and how do you think that I can help you? They will talk for 15 minutes. And I don't care what they say. Like I'm not, I mean, I'm paying attention, but I know that I'm only going to be on this call for 15 to 20 minutes. And my next thing is going to say, well, my most successful clients have always built out something called a project scope document. Let me show you. And I pull up my computer, share my screen, and I say, look, this right here is everything that is needed to be successful, because you have everything in your head. You understand you have a problem and we need to document it. This does two things. It allows you to get a price from me because I don't know what the price is. And anyone that tells you what a price would be to build something like this without having a document like this is making shit up. There's no way anyone could operate without this.
Mhm.
Number two, it allows you to take this document and go and find and hire somebody else. Now, I charge $250 for this. If you want, I can send you the link and we can go from there. And 90% of the time, they're like, yeah, I need that, because you gave them an out. They don't have to hire you. It only costs $250. And if they don't want to hire you, they can go find somebody else. My next call after they pay the 250 is, this is the script. We're going to build a pipeline and we're going to build a workflow. The pipeline is the 30,000 foot approach to the workflow. I'm going to ask you a few questions. We always start with new lead, right? A new lead, where they come from. Now, how do we get them to step number 2? That comes down in the workflow. What needs to happen? Does somebody need to be notified? Does an email need to be sent? Does a text message need to be sent? You tell me. And then they say, well, yeah, this, that, and the other thing. So in the beginning, they're kind of confused as to how that works. But then by the middle of the call, they're like, oh, no, you know what? I think in step number 2, we should put this. And then they just start telling me. They're the ones that are building it because I know nothing about their business.
Or
And
yeah.
at that point, their eyes are lighting up and they want to buy. they're like, this is amazing. I've never done this before. This is awesome. And you're not even doing anything other than just listening and asking a question. So what happens when this happens? What needs to go here? So you're telling me that I did this one for a girl that had she had a laser at her house, and they put like custom, like, on a coffee mug, it'll put like Merry Christmas, Bobby, Happy birthday, right? It's customized stuff. Well, I know nothing about laser printers. I don't know anything about that. And I didn't think about this, but when before it goes to the laser, they have to send out a proof of concept to the person. And then that has to be approved or disapproved. So then there's a fork in the road. If it's not approved, it goes back to the drawing phase. If it is approved, it goes to the production phase, right? So like she caught that and she's like, man, if you could fix that, do you know, like, we've messed up on things because it goes through a human and then they pass it down and the email gets lost and I didn't see it in a thread, and then we print 40 water bottles for a company for an event and then they get it and then it's spelled wrong or something like that, right? And so I ask her, well, how much is like the usual bottle? Like, how much is that order? Like, that could be $1,500. I'm like, okay, so this one little step process is saving you $1,500. How many times has that happened? And they're like, I don't know, in the past year, it probably happened 10 times. So that's 10 grand that you had to go back and you messed up, right? So you start to get these things that they start telling you. And then they're like, well, not only that, I mean, that would save me like 3 hours a week because I always have to go back and double check before it goes to the printer or the laser.
All right.
So there's an intrinsic value on top of the monetary value of this. And when you can start to like go a little bit deeper, like what would this do to change your business? Those are the types of questions I ask so that they start to see, and they're like, man, they'll sit back like this, like, man, yeah, this is good. I like this. Thank you. Then they start thanking you, and then they start asking you questions. And now they're in this like buying phase where you didn't even do anything other than just pull the stuff out of their head. And at that point, now they're like calling you, texting you, hey, when are you going to be able to tell me what the price is? When are you going to come back with me with this? Right. And then my job, I'm not even following up with the client anymore. I'm getting at Adam and Brendan, like, hey, bro, when are you guys going to be done with this? How long is it going to take? This lady wants to get on a call. Right. So then I'm really following up with Adam and Brendan to come back with me with a price. And so it completely eradicates the sales process. And if you can get really good at just getting on $250 calls and just going through the customer journey, this becomes so easy. It does. I've been doing it for the past 6 months. Like I'm up to about $90,000 in sales, and I haven't done anything other than just go to Upwork and hit apply. Now, I spend $100 to apply to, maybe 20 different things, and I'm only landing 4 meetings, but I'm making $1,000 just from 4 meetings. And then the overlay of, like, it's inevitable that I'm going to sell one at least. I'm selling maybe two, is like, okay, now I made it a 3 grand, or I made 5 grand from this one, and I'm going to make, 6 grand from the other. So for every $100, $90 that I spend, I pull in like 6 grand, and plus the monthly reoccurring revenue, right? Because I charge $497 a month. And it's really just the mindset shift of what you came into this call with. Was one, you didn't even know what the hell this call was. I hope that you leave this call with a lot of information and kind of maybe changing the way that you're thinking.
Well,
Because
it's a very good review of what I've learned from you months ago, and I didn't really take advantage of
implementing,
it. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I mean,
it's the
sorry.
only way that I see it working in an effective way, where you position yourself to get the clients to come to you. I've been in sales positions where I have to go and find clients. I used to work for a company called Cox Media. I think they own the Weather Channel, Boat Trader, Autotrader.com, all these companies. And I sold these little coupons in a pamphlet that was on the side of the road for transient hotel stays. Like if you were driving from Michigan to Florida and you needed to stay at the hotel, you'd pick up this little magazine. And basically it was like, you know, a $39 stay at a Motel 6, right? And every single one of the owners was, you know, they owned maybe like it was Mr. Patel. They were all Indian guys and they all owned the hotels on the side of the highway. And I had to convince them, and this is how I did it. It was like, what's your occupancy rate? Well, it's like 40%. Okay, so you're still paying the electricity, you're still paying for this, no matter whether or not you have, you know, the girls that clean the rooms, you're not paying them per room to clean, so give them more rooms to clean. Well, yeah, how do I do that? Well, you know, for $39 coupon, you can get an extra 3 nights, three stays a night. And then you do 39 times 3 nights times 30 nights. That's like an extra 10 grand a month from just these stupid little coupons on the side of the road. And, you know, that's how I would convince them to do that. But it was really big convincing. They had to pay a monthly fee, and the monthly fee was like $500. So if they, you know, if it was a homestead suite by Marriott or kind of the higher brand, you know, the Marriott, like those would be like $119 a night, but like a Motel 6 would be like $29 a night. They had to pay, you know, I think it was like $497 a month, and they were complaining about $497 a month. But I got so good at showing them, what was your occupancy last night? You have 100 rooms and you only had 30 filled. Imagine having an extra, you know, $200 a night times 30 in your low season. And if you don't do this, you see the hotel right across the street, I'm going over there and they're going to just get it. It's the same as when you go to the gas station and you see it's $2.75 at the mobile and it's $2.73. It's 3 cents different, but you will go to that light, make the U-turn, and go and save 2 pennies. Like it doesn't really make that big of a difference. But like to the customer, if I'm gonna look through a magazine and I see yours at $89 a night and his at $69 a night, I'm just driving to Florida for a vacation. I'm not going to pay an extra $20. I'm sleeping here for 7 hours. And so I got really, really good at that. And I started selling it like crazy. And it was just getting them to want to buy. And so this process, I've taken it from my corporate sales into this because it shifts it from trying to convince people. It's just a simple, man, I'm stupid for not doing this. Based off what the questions that he asked me, you're getting them to see their problems through the question.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess the bottom line is I need to do something with fiber or somebody. I got to get some leads to talk to.
Yeah, I think, and that's what I was saying to you earlier is I don't think it's a fulfillment problem. You don't even have anybody to fulfill just yet. It's a lead problem, and that's easy to fix.
In this model, the leads are first, but in the model I was trying to do, I felt like I had to have that product ready to get it done. So that was where I wasted all that time.
Yeah, that's where, and this is where you're going to see that. I mean, I learned this from other people, right? That book that I said, Ready, Fire, Aim.
Yeah, there's a commercial real estate guy that he uses that exact. I don't know if he got it from that book. He probably did, but he uses that. He calls that part of his system is Ready, Fire, Aim. I mean, that's what he calls his system. And basically, he teaches you how to go through, because I've done real estate. I was a real estate agent and all that, and I studied that stuff years ago. But the guy basically says you look for properties and we got a contract and you you send out the contracts and then you evaluate whether they're good or not. You don't even look at the prices. Most likely, I mean, you get them in within a cap rate and then you just send out bunches of offers and then you thin them out to get down to the real person. But that he calls it that. So he probably read that
Yeah,
book too.
he probably did. It's by Matheson, I think is his name, or that's 10x is using 2x. I can't remember the author's name, but
Yeah, I'll have to read those. I know years ago. I mean, this is like when I was in my 20s. I read a book called I went through a divorce and was not working anywhere at the time, and I read this book called "Sell Anything to Anybody" by Joe Girard, #1 car salesman in the world in the U.S. And
uh-huh.
I read that book. I couldn't put it down. I read all night, fell asleep in the morning. Then I got my highlighter and read through it again and highlighted it. And then I went through the highlights and wrote down everything I need to go buy. And I went and bought all the stuff that he said do. This is before computers. Really, I had a little mic and I did actually put it on my mic eventually. But I went to the car dealership that I used to work at and said, look, I'm ready to go back to work. And I was #1 salesman the next year and the year after that, just by using everything he said in that book.
Yeah. Oh,
Nick, I
So
have a
I,
quick question.
sure, go ahead.
We're at the way top of the hour. Did you have anything on the agenda today to cover before?
I don't, but I mean, this has just kind of been turned into kind of these types of conversations. I'm working on my webinar stuff. I can go over some of that, but
Did you see our response? I know you sent out an email or a text message asking what we wanted you to cover. Did you see
I
everyone's responses?
I haven't, just because today I've been in the hospital with my girlfriend. I'm in the hospital right now in the room. Uh, the doctors keep coming in and out and
well, I
whatnot.
want to
So
apologize to everybody else taking up all the time, but can I ask you one more question? Where do
yeah,
you live?
no, there's no
Where do you
apologizing.
where do you live in Mexico?
I live in Playa del Carmen,
Um,
right outside of Cancun, about 45 minutes south of Cancun. I think Jimmy's here too, right, Jimmy? Yeah, me and Jimmy both live down here.
well, I lived in Mexico City for a year once,
Okay. Yeah,
1990.
yeah, that's a nice city. I enjoy Mexico City.
I married a girl from
Um,
there.
oh, nice, nice. Do you speak Spanish?
No, no, I know you do very well. I got to where I understood it and I could kind of communicate after being there a year, but I'm just from Kentucky. We don't learn languages here.
Well, I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Teresa's in Clarksville. I went to Trinity
Really,
High School.
really.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
right across the river.
small world. Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so where in Kentucky are you?
Owensboro, about two
Owensboro. I've
hours,
been
2 hours from
I've
Louisville.
I've been to
You're in
Moonlight Barbecue there.
Barbecue
Yeah,
City. Yeah, I was
yeah.
getting ready to say that, Nick.
Yeah,
Everybody,
we redesigned the barbecue festival. They couldn't get the grant money from the state or somebody because they couldn't call it a festival. So we redesigned their logo and everything. Now we call it the barbecue and barrels because we got a distillery and stuff there. So they really brought out the whiskey and the barbecue and kind of mixed it up and made it a barbecue and barrels with no name, no festival, so they could actually apply for a grant. You know how that government stuff works. They get government money for everything.
Yeah.
I almost have Nick's story. Nick is selling more than I am with Go High Level, but I've had Go High Level paying for it since last November, so over a year, couple months. And I was trying to learn how to build and hated it, and finally realized I just had to learn how to sell, and hooked up with Nick, and I got in a partner program, which is kicking my butt to start to make sales, and let somebody else build. So I'm right there. Yeah.
I'll also share, it's not in Go High Level, but about 2 years ago, I went into solar, and solar is a very, very, very intricate product. And it was the first time where I just ran in feet first without totally learning the product. We were required to do training, but I didn't know the ins and outs, and I didn't learn the ins and outs of the product until I had different projects. So in each project, I learned the things that I needed to learn. Um, and one of the only reasons why I left solar is because of the government regulations behind it, you know? So I completely agree with how Nick does things.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's my journey, right? Like I share this stuff with everybody to help you guys out. You know, this is what my bosses used to do for me. Um, and teaching this, I actually texted my boss the other day and said, "Man, you taught me something like that I can take with me for the rest of my life. I'm grateful for everything that you taught me." I think when you're in corporate and you're working, you just go through the motions, and it's just like you're required to do that to get a salary. But
Yep.
then when you get out of it, and I was out of it for a while. Now I took it for granted because I had my Airbnb. So I didn't really challenge myself. I took really like a 5 year break of just, I was making 17 grand a month from the house in New York, living in Mexico. And then all of a sudden it was just cut off. And I was like, I freaked out. I wasn't prepared. I had no idea what I was going to do. I thought that I made it. Like I was like, man, this is it. Like I got this house. Worst case scenario, I'll start renting it to regular renters, and it'll be fine. Like I'm good. And COVID, the squatters, Airbnb becoming illegal, it just was all completely ripped out from underneath me. And what I realized in the past couple of months is, man, I love sales. I forgot about this challenge that I removed myself from because I got too comfortable and complacent. Is that right?
Yeah.
And now that I'm back in it, I feel this sudden fire of like, man, this stuff is fun. Why did I do that to myself? Like, I feel like I wasted 5 years because I was just coasting, and I kind of, bang my head against the wall. Like, one, it was a learning experience. I'm never going to do that again. No matter how successful I am, like I got to keep pushing because there's no reason not to. Because, I don't know, let's say Go High Level got sued. I mean, they're getting sued from, Russell Brunson, or I don't know, something crazy happens. And then all of a sudden Go High Level's gone. Right. And now we have to move to, that's very possible. Like, don't think that it's not possible. They could sell it off to another company. They could sell it off to Microsoft, and Microsoft could come in and say, hey, we're changing this up. And it could be like, or something else comes out, like, Netflix and Blockbuster, that story, right? Don't get complacent. And that's one thing that I learned doing all this is, one, I love sales, and I didn't realize that no one can ever take this from me, and unless like, I died or something. But there's I can transform this into anything. So the skills that we're learning, and I really believe that sales is, because we can always find someone to build in Go High Level. We can always find someone to build in Salesforce. We can always find someone to build a Python script. But to go and sell it and talk about it, if I needed to learn Python and how to sell it, I'd have to go and sit down for another year probably and really get involved in it. But I want to be in a position where I have that cash flow coming in that I can go learn a new skill set and not take 5 years off because I think that, oh, I have a Go High Level agency, I'm making, 20 grand a month or 100 grand a month or whatever it is. Like, because it can be ripped out. Look at what just happened the other day. January 19th, they're going to cut TikTok out of the United States. That's the exact same thing that happened with Airbnb. Do you know how many people have built an entire business around TikTok and content creation that is just going to be ripped out from underneath them on January 19th?
Wait, Nick, they confirmed it? I thought they were going to push it to when.
I don't know. I mean, I don't get involved in it. I don't read too much about it, but I did see something today that January 19th, it's going to be taken off the platform or something. Maybe they're going to push it. But regardless, my point is all these content creators that have been building up a TikTok account and now they have 1 million followers. They're selling, I don't know, eyeshadow or makeup or
Yeah.
muscle protein or whatever it is they're selling. All of that is boom, done. It's done if this goes through. And you just went from 1 million followers on TikTok selling, I don't know, $1 million a year to you got nothing. And now you have to go and compete with another algorithm of Instagram, but you're in that same position. So you don't really have a true business. You just got lucky, you made cool content, you ran with the waves for a little bit, you made some money, and I hope that those TikTok guys created an email list. They created some sort of thing to
you gotta
build
own
out
it.
the foundation.
Yeah, you
Or
Yeah.
a
gotta own it.
website, or at least a website. That's the bad being.
Yeah, something. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
guy that I follow, Sean King. I love this guy. Sean King is a pro activist in just humanitarian rights and whatnot. He got kicked off of Instagram for supporting Palestine and calling out the news is bullshit. He went from 2 million followers to now he's got a Telegram group with 83,000 followers. Now, he's not someone that's trying to make money off people. He has his own money. He's a speaker. He's kind of like the modern day, you know, Martin Luther King Jr., something like that, right? Or Malcolm X. And yeah, they just cut him off. I mean, you have freedom of speech and you can't have freedom of speech on platforms, right? And so when it comes to business, this sales experience, the experience that we're building with Go High Level, like we know stuff that other people don't know. And with AI coming out the way that it is, we're in the middle of a huge shift in all kinds of stuff. And if you've ever read the book Outliers, there's a book called Outliers by Orwell, it starts with an O. Anyway, he talks about why were they all born in January and February? Because they were just born at the right time. My sister, she's 9 years younger than me. She's great at TikTok. I know nothing about TikTok. I can't do it. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Bill Gates, the only reason why he's Bill Gates is because he was at the right place at the right time. He had access to the computers before anybody else did. So anybody else in his position would have been able to do what he's done because he was just naturally the first person at MIT to do that. Hockey players, every single hockey player is born in January and February because they were the oldest in the group, and the AAU traveling team, they were just bigger. If you're older in a sixth grade class, you just naturally are bigger. And the cutoff date for the school is the month before that. So you're the oldest in the group. And if you go and look at it's called outliers because they look at like it from a statistical standpoint. Why are all these outliers born in January and February? It's because they were just born at the right time. It's not that they're I mean, they're hockey players, so they're professionals. But I think we're at that position. Like we are walking into this AI, whatever it's going to turn into. And we are in a position that we have this go high level knowledge. Whether we want to admit it or not, go high level is going to play a pretty big role inside go high level. I mean, inside the AI realm for businesses. I don't think that go high level has like proprietary, amazing, crazy software because it's a CRM system. It's been around forever. But what you can do with it is where the solutions come to the problems that the businesses have. And we're right on this wave of something pretty crazy and pretty cool.
Has anybody heard of AI? AIO? It's like SEO, except it's AIO. All the search engines are starting to use conversational answers. You know, when you do something with Google now, you see that little snippet that comes up.
AEO, yeah,
AEO,
AI,
yeah, AIEO,
yeah.
yeah. I've been looking into that a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking into that. There's a guy I follow, Neil Patel and Brian Dean within the SEO world, and um, I always pick out the most successful people in any industry and I follow them. I never try to like if I want to learn tennis, I'm not asking Bobby how to play tennis. I'm gonna go find Serena Williams and she's gonna teach me how to play tennis. If I want golf lessons, I'm gonna go to, Tiger Woods. I'm not gonna ask my buddy who watched a couple YouTube videos. That's the same way that I look at it with this type of stuff, right? Um, is who in the industry is doing amazing things that has to show for it. The stuff that I teach you guys, it's straight from Jeff Miller, Alex Hormozy, Neil Patel, Adam and Brendan. Adam and Brendan are the top 1% people in the go high level industry. They are amazing at what they do. I would not go to anybody else but Adam and Brendan to figure out how this is going to be built. And so I've seen the AEO. I think it's important, but there's all kinds of ways to get leads and get it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I
Well, it's
haven't looked into
important
it that much.
if you were selling rank and rent, websites, or if
Mhm.
you're doing something in that area, it's really not that crucial for what you're doing or what we'd like to do is sell builds. I
Well,
just
it
thought
could
it was
be. I,
interesting.
I I could build out a website for uh, you know, land more investors with AI, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I could do something like that. It wouldn't be for me for custom builds, but it could be for a niche, right?
right.
Um, I have medical clinics that, use AI to talk between your CRM system and your EMR system, right? So like if I could get that, I mean, I would love to just have people call me and text me instead of me
Yeah,
trying to do that. But that'll come with time. Like after I start making enough money, I can go and hire people to go and do the sales and do the outreach. Um,
Nick, I have a
so
question because you have such great training already. Did you ever look at existing trade shows to see and call the people at those different trade shows? Like I was talking to a friend where they're talking to people at CIS. You know the CIS show, right? Or CES show, Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas.
no,
Oh, you've never heard of
I
the C?
maybe I have.
It's
Maybe I went to that. I
you
went to a trade show in Vegas a couple years ago, and
in
it was
January.
absolutely enormous.
Enormous. It was at three different hotels, and it's a guy that does database. One of the girls was telling me he does database reactivation, and he goes there because a lot of those big companies do not have that set up in their systems. And she's not even talking to she's a lot in line with you where she's not talking to plumbers and you know home service people. She's talking to big corporations that need this kind of service. And that made me think, does Nick ever look online when he's looking at leads? Has he ever considered looking at different trade shows and contacting those vendors? The only reason why I say that is because a vendor that's in that show, you know they're spending money and you know they have a lead flow because they're getting those size of boosts. You know what I mean? But what are they doing? How are they processing those leads and
Yeah,
managing them?
I haven't right now I'm doing things in phases and I'm really trying to avoid myself from seeing the flashy object and getting
Got it.
distracted and changing my things. I've
Your
done that in the
system.
past and I write down things for myself in my little notebook and I really where I need to get back personally is I need to get back to being financially stable the way that I was. And that means
Mm-hmm.
I need to get back to making between, 10 and 20 grand a month um for what from what I used to. That's kind of like my benchmark. I don't know why I chose those numbers. I think just because I did it once, I could do it again. And so I'm really
Mm-hmm.
trying not to say that your ideas are not good. Like that's a great
No,
idea.
I was just wondering
My
if you did it, because I did it a long time ago, and I just was wondering if you ever did it in the past and what you thought about it.
No, I haven't, but I did go to a couple of events in Vegas for Amazon drop shipping because I used to
Mm,
run I had 27 stores in Amazon drop shipping. And again, I went to Bangladesh. I had a team in Bangladesh, and when we were there, they closed our drop shipping company, our drop shipping stores down. We lost 27 stores in just one night on August 19th of 2023. They just were like,
mm,
"Nope, you guys are closed down." And then the thing with the Airbnb happened, and that's where I really made this shift of I need to have a business model where they can't close me down.
mhm,
That, and I think that this
mhm.
agency life is one of those businesses because it's sales. They can't take that away from me. They could take Go High Level away from me. They could take Facebook ads away from me,
Yep.
but I can always go back to my sales and still build. And maybe I use Salesforce or HubSpot. I'd have to go learn a new thing, but I don't see Go High Level going anywhere. Like I don't see it. I think it's here to stay. And if they close the internet down, which I think the internet that would ruin the entire world. So I don't think the internet's go. I don't think the internet's going anywhere unless it's like, a crazy attack or something from, whatever. But um,
And
I'm
they
really
may.
trying not to get attracted to the shiny object. I've actually turned off my YouTube stuff because it's too much. And what I've been doing is working, and I'm okay with that. I do watch Alex Hormozy a lot, um, and he always says, things around the lines of most people fail because they gave up. They didn't perfect what they were good at. They thought that they could make, $3,000 in a month. They try it for 3 weeks and then they move on to the next thing. And that was me for a long time. Um, I don't know why I
Mhm.
didn't give up for the year and a half that I was in the group with Adam and Brendan paying $500 a month. Um, I, I I don't know why I didn't do that. I think that my brain operates in the way that Go High Level works is it's very analytical and I'm really attracted to it. Even by not making money from it, I was like, wow, this thing is just fucking awesome. Like I really like this. This is like it. I have a passion for it. I'm in the hospital right now. My girlfriend's sick and I'm here talking about
Yep,
Go High Level, right?
I
Like,
know.
and I think that I'm really into hip hop as well. And I look at the hip hop artists that I listen to, like underground hip hop, like Talib Kweli and Kendrick Lamar and Nipsey Hussle and all of them. They started out, and you go back and you look at their videos, and their videos sucked. Their music videos. It was like just two friends just had a camera and they filmed it, and it became a really popular song. But then over time, you watch and you see their transformation. It's like, man, they stuck with it, and look at where they are now. It took them 10 or 15 years to get there, but like it paid off. And I look at that like I just need to stick with something. I'm gonna stick with the process that I got. It's working, and I'm just gonna perfect it. And then I'll move into something, right? Something else, right? Um, but
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
I think
don't
you
want to
just gotta
be,
pick one and go with one, whatever
yeah,
avenue that you want to use. Yeah.
It's very hard when you see all the different trainings but I analyzed them all, and Nix is the only one that makes longevity sense compared. Like, there's stages. If you want to build a good social media presence, I feel like the Perfect Stranger is a good one, with the GSD group. But if you want to make sales and get going and have an agency, it's that you're not like connected to 24/7 next processes. Plus there's other trainers out there that have um, trainings, and they're all saying that you do the selling on the front end and you have people that does the fulfillment for you, and that's how a lot of
That's the
the
only way to scale.
yeah,
That's the only
yeah,
way to
that's
scale.
the only, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a
yeah.
question.
Sure, Teresa, what's up?
So the it's funny because that's the way I started out developing websites. I was doing them myself for $800, and then like I can't do this. So when I started, um, subbing them out, I started making more money. But my question is this: talking about the websites I built. So I'm going back to clients that I'm hosting, um, and offering, let's look at your website. It's been a while. And while I'm talking to them in these meetings, just like this accountant that I talked to last week, I said, you know, there's chats out there that we could put on your website. And I said, we have an AI assistant. And they said, what's that do? I said, well, it could answer questions. It could book appointments for you. And they were like, oh, and we wouldn't even have to talk to them? No. Well, that would be great because we can continue to do taxes, right? How much is that? And I said, let me, let me, let me get that back to you. Normally I would, I just quote them a price. The reason
Yeah.
for my, the reason for my hesitation is something that's small. I don't want to send to Brendan and Adam. And when talking to Cody, Cody was like, I said, look, I can sell core four, or I can sell a piece of the core four. And I know Dia's on this call. I'm hoping she can help me out. Um, but I don't want to set them up. I know how to do. I did one, and it's like I just don't like doing this. So
Yeah.
I need somebody to fulfill not only the custom builds, which are great to have. I'm still doing all kinds of outreach on Upwork for custom builds, but I can sell this little stuff too, for 250, 350, and that's what I told her. I said I think it'll be around 200 a month or so. Oh, okay. I said let me confirm that though before I give you a hard price.
Hmm.
So, um I just need to know, like, on little stuff and workflows, you know, uh, the with the pipeline. That small stuff that I don't know if Brendan and Adam want to even mess with. Their team is so busy, and then doing this, well, you know, that
Well, I
would,
mean, for $200 a month, you wouldn't want to do that. Like, I have
right.
clients right now that I'm doing the same thing. I just built out their little chat bot, but the most important thing is just go through that activity of doing the project scope document, right? Because it's going to allow them to convey your message directly to you in the way that they want it. And so when you do that, at that point, now you can hire Dia and say, hey, Dia, can you go in and can you build out this, whether it's Core 4 or if it's with Marcus, of just go through and I would suggest you do it with Marcus just because it's way easier and it's going to make Dia's life easier and you can scale it quickly because all Dia really needs to do is just because the pipeline's already there and all you really need to do is just the prompting. What do you want it to say? Upload the frequently asked questions, upload the products, upload, what email they need to contact if they have to have a question answered, the calendar that they want to have booked with the right person internally. And then yeah, just give that to Dia. I'm speaking for Dia, but I'm sure that Dia would be more than happy to take on new business. That's what she's good at, and so uh, you know, go through that project scope document, and that would be a 45-minute call. Okay,
Yeah.
when someone comes to your website, what do you want them to do? Where do they go? So you do like, 001 website
Mm-hmm.
visitor, and then the last stage, leave it blank, maybe at 004, and it's like, go to this checkout page, right? And then in the prompting, you just have that conversation flow. Um, you know, here's the prompt or here's the context. Someone's visiting our website. Ask any questions. The goal is to send them to get, like, if it's a law firm, right? I'm just making it up because I know you do stuff with lawyers. Um, we're going to get them set up with, like, lawyer Mark, right? I don't know his name, just making it up. Here's his calendar. Ask them some qualifying questions. Were you hurt? And if it's an accident lawyer, like, what was the date of the thing, of the accident? Did the people have insurance? Did you collect their insurance? Whatever the questions are. And then just have the bot just go and say, okay, I suggest that you set up a meeting with lawyer Mark. Here's his calendar. He has availability on Monday at 2 p.m. Does that work? No? Okay, whatever. It can be super easy and super simple. And yeah, you could make $300 a month just from that, which would be great. One thing that I think you should ask when going into the conversation with the client is, how many website visitors do you have? Like, qualify them so that you are not wasting your time. And what I mean by wasting your time is, the chatbot needs somebody to talk to, right? So
I understand.
maybe require them to send you their monthly analytics of their website. If they have, 10,000 visitors, I'm sure that some people are going to talk to the chatbot. If they have 55 visitors, I don't think that's going to be worth your time, because it's going to cause more headaches in the future. You're going to go through this thing. They're going to complain about $200 because they don't really have a business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so just think of, like, who are the people that you would like to work with, and you might even have access to their analytics, but
Yeah,
um,
I do. So, but I think the bigger question for me is, um, if I knew the development cost, then I can put my mark on it and I can quote rather than saying, let me get back with you on a price. But I can go through the process. I guess, are you still saying go through the three-step process then? Or
yeah. Can you
it,
hold on? Can you just hold on 1 second? I'm sorry. Sí, estoy en una llamada, pero vamos a ir después. ¿Está bien? Ok. Ah, sí. Sí. Ok. Gracias. Um, okay. Sorry, Teresa.
that's okay. Maybe I'm trying to shortcut the sales process, because like when I was talking to her, rather than saying, let me get you a price and get back to you, I guess I should have said, let's set up a call and go through that, because we went through her website and we're doing some updates. So then I should probably say, there, and I did this with the insurance guy. We need to set up a call and go through your process. So we still need to do that, even if I know development cost on small builds or core four or maintenance or whatever it is. But I guess I did
Yeah,
maybe get
that would
with
be a
Dia.
call. Just have a call with Dia. Dia can explain to you everything, because that's exactly what she does, right?
Yeah,
So, Adam and Brendan can build out the stuff for you, and then, or Dia can too. In this case, I would suggest that you or Dia build it out, because then it's a lower end ticket item. It's not gonna
right.
You're gonna lose money on it, right?
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, I would connect with Dia. That would be cool. And then, um, I'm gonna get going here in a minute, because the doctor came in. We're gonna go home, but I wanted to answer Todd's question. He said, "What are
Yes,
you guys
sir.
using for the chatbot?" Yeah, no worries. Um, so Todd, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but a majority of us in here. I want to say a lot of us. I don't know if Mario or Jimmy or Jeff are, or Bobby was. We are a part of a group called Go High Level Mastery, which is with Adam and Brendan. And so they are like just an amazing group of individuals who basically are our fractional development team. And what they do is they help us build out really anything that we need within. Oh, okay, Jeff, you are. They build out anything that we need for our clients. And so with that, we have been working on a few AI agents for, I would say, about a year now. We started out with something called Core 4, which was an AI bot within automations inside Go High Level that was very mimicable, or someone could copy it. And it would be like Vappy Chat or Closebot on steroids, but the second that we would drop it's like that snapshot into a client's you know Go High Level account, they could basically take it. So we helped Adam and Brendan test it, build it, give feedback for maybe 6 or 7 months, I would think. Like, I mean, we did that for a long time. And then Jarrell, who is an absolute wizard in our group, he came back and he basically built out an entire new platform that uses the same concepts as Core 4. And they call it Marcus. And what that does is it expands the AI brain in a RAG model with a router function inside Go High Level, but everything is housed inside the playground on ChatGPT. So what that allows you to do is license it. And now we're able to license it, and it's extremely, extremely sophisticated. I am willing to bet that there is not another chatbot out there that can compete with Marcus right now, due to the fact that the router function, the licensing factor within Go High Level, as well as it can work in HubSpot, it could work in Salesforce. It's just API connections. And so we've been using that. And that right there it's extremely easy to use. It's really just prompting. The entire pipeline and workflows are there. It has smart follow-up, meaning someone says, hey, I'm busy right now, can you follow up with me in 2 weeks, or can you follow up with me in 6 months? It remembers that. It saves all the memory and the conversation flow, and it will reach back out to the person when they said it. It will do conversational bookings, and then it passes the bot internally to different routing functions. So you can have an assistant, you can have a booking bot, you could have a frequently asked questions bot, so that it doesn't hallucinate and it doesn't get confused, and it passes it back and forth inside the system seamlessly without the client or the prospect or whoever is speaking with it knows. And that's what all of us, the majority of us here, are using. And we just license it out to our clients. So hopefully that works.
Yeah, that was a lot of good information. I remember clicking off of a link from one of your sheets, and I'm trying to get back there now. Would you mind helping me find that page where it talks about this product and some other? I think it comes with like their whole. There was two prices, right? Both of them monthly, both several $100s, I think.
Yeah, let me pull this up and I'll send it here.
Okay,
inside here.
Got so many tabs open trying to find yours. I was like NL something or and so does that Marcus AI is just chat, right? There's no voice involved, right?
We do have voice.
So is it included or is it an extra price? I already have voice on.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
good.
It's an extra.
Okay,
it's an extra price. I'm gonna send you I'm gonna send you an email with everything right here, because this is an email that I send to people. I'm just copying and pasting it. I'm gonna.
Now, let me just ask some questions while we're trying to get to the URL so I can read more about it. But does it come with any like predefined or preset pre-builds for different niches, or like you said, it does conversation booking? Does that already like just flow in? You know, because that's pretty straightforward. What time are you available? I have these slots available, kind of thing. So is that kind of stuff already done, so you don't actually have to do it? And my second question is that we're going to resell this to our customers as we build out for them. Does the team behind Marcus do all the builds for us for a price, or do we have to build those out ourselves?
Yeah, they do. I'm going to email this to you. I have your email as TS at your name. Is that right?
That's fine. That'll find me. Let me. I can't move this.
Okay. Because it won't let me. This email is 5,000 characters, and the text doesn't allow me to put something. So I'm not going to split it up.
Okay. Thanks so much. I'm going to my email right now over here on my other screen.
AI stuff. Okay, I'll put that right there. Okay, I just sent it to you, just so you have it. It explains.
Okay,
it explains everything.
It explains everything right here. And let's see the link to. So it's a 597 or a 297 per month. Is that correct? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Here?
So I'll explain. Yeah, I'll explain here. People are asking this too. These are the calls and prospecting course. So
yeah, I remember
the
this
link that I
partnership
just
stuff.
The link that I just sent in here are my sales calls. I put in the group every single, pretty much like almost every day. I put those in there every day, like when I get a new sales call, and then it has the prospecting. Someone just asked that quick. Can you send what I need? That was for Jeff.
So I'm gonna log in here.
And
I think I bought this, didn't I?
Maybe. Jeff, I'll send you the same email I just sent to Todd.
Yeah, I just got the link. Is that everything that I need to learn your prospecting method and
Yeah, but that
project
doesn't
scope
have
document?
yep, exactly. But that does not have the what's it called? The Marcus AI or anything like that. If you want me to send that to you, I'm more
I
than
have the
happy to
Marcus
send it.
information. I just want your material.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's my material.
And that's 89.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate what they can do.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming. Todd, the answer to your question, the way that the landing pages are set up, and we're going to fix that. I talked to Adam and Brendan about it, is there's a VIP program. The VIP program, there's two prices. One is $497 a month, and I'll explain to you why. The other one is $597. The $597 includes the license to Marcus AI, and you can have unlimited amounts of sub accounts that have that. So you just pay for it. You just pay $597 a month for the VIP, which includes all the calls that we get on every single day, Monday through Friday, in with Adam and Brendan on Zoom. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with the calls. What was it?
Okay, so I'll back up. Go High Level Mastery is run by Adam and Brendan.
Okay, I'm on the page right now, so maybe I can follow along while you're talking. Join GHLmastery.com, Marcus AI question mark. I think that's right.
Okay. Yeah, if you delete the Marcus AI, you'll see the other page too.
That's where I should go now.
Here, let me just share my screen. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, that'd be great. Sorry, I've read this a couple of times, but for some reason I'm just not. It's not completely clicking in. I think, it's expensive, and I'm wondering if like this Marcus is able to use, an unlimited style for all our clients inside GHL. That's
exactly. No, I get
the big
it.
question.
So this right here is called Join GHL Mastery. Okay, this is the group that the majority of us on this call are in, and this is basically a 5 weekly coaching calls of your agency. So you get on a Zoom call like this Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Every
And every day there's support calls. So if you ever find yourself, basically going on YouTube or going to ChatGPT to try to find a solution on how to build something in Go High Level, what Adam and Brendan, what would take me or you, I don't know your level of skill in Go High Level or your developers, usually, it will take 6 hours for me to just even figure out what to type into YouTube to figure out what's going on. I get on these calls and they will help you within 15 minutes. You share your screen just like this. They take over your computer and they just build it for you right there.
And
On top of that,
there's multiple people on the call, so everybody can ask like, I
yeah,
got a problem, and they fix everybody's problem.
there's multiple things. Then you get 24/7 support right here inside the group chat. So you can upload a Zoom call, or a Loom call. You can ask them a question. It'll create a ticket and they will respond with you within 24 hours, and they'll do it for you if you give them access to your Go High Level account, or they'll just walk you through exactly what you need to do. This is 24/7. I mean, this is like every single day. I mean, this is nonstop. Like Christina is asking questions. Jeff, this is Jeff Watkins. Everybody is just asking questions in here, and they respond and they give you whatever you need help with. On top of that, you get placed inside our group. We have 193 people in here. And then every single day, these are what our calls look like. So they're 2 hours a day. You go in, like this is Brendan helping somebody build a workflow. Actually, this is him helping me build a workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Here's other calls that we have. So this right here is the 497 call like group. Okay, it's basically you have an entire customer support, for Go High Level, right? This is.
So one question real quick. So let's say you have, five or 10 sub accounts of your clients. Can they fix their issues too? Or they just,
Yeah, as long as you have their login, if you can log into their account, yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay. So that's what I was asking. Like, they support your whole entire operation, all your clients.
Yeah, they'll support your whole entire operation. Now, the 497 comes with this. The 597 is the exact same thing, except it includes the licensing for Marcus, for the AI. So they do, you know how you just went to the Marcus AI by itself? Like, let me see. So I just sent you an email. This is
Marcus AI.
That's weird.
I'm gonna go back to my email and click on that affiliate link.
Oh, you have two numbers in here. So I'm just going to click on these links. So the 597 program includes the Marcus AI. Now, Marcus AI, they don't have a landing page for it with that. So this is Marcus AI. The licensing, if you're not a part of the group, is $297 a month. So there's no point in paying $497 plus $297. They just bundled it together. Click here, get started. You're going to see that you can either pick the $597 or the $297. So that's why this is the Go High Level Mastery VIP plus Marcus, or just Marcus alone. We're going to work on getting one landing page with all the different pricing. It's just right now we don't have that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So so here's the 597 plan. Let me see if I can load that URL. Yes. Okay. Introducing Marcus AI. Is that correct? That's the header.
Yeah. So
all right. So get started is loading the screen here, and yeah, I see 597 per month. So $600 a month gets you support
Basically
for your
unlimited support for
support.
everything.
And the support goes through the Facebook group or a meeting,
It goes through Zoom. So every day, you'll get a calendar link in your calendar. I don't have my calendar open, but you'll get a calendar link. You just click on the calendar link.
Hmm.
You get all the calls. They'll fix your problems, whatever you need. And then let's say
also? Mm-hmm.
like let's say it's after hours, like you're not on the call and you have a question right now. You just come over here and you go to the ticketing system. So you go here. I have it saved. So you just come in here and you hit submit a ticket and you can just do support. And then the best thing to do is just upload a video.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
And then they'll respond to you with another video, or they'll it depends on the question that you have. I don't know. Like they'll just be with
the reason
whatever.
why I asked for that's what I was asking for, submit a ticket, because I'm not sure I'll have time to sit on a call for 2 hours to wait my turn to get my question answered.
Yeah, and some people
that can
don't.
be a problem.
Some people don't.
But I can see
I would
myself sitting
say,
through. I can see myself sitting through 2 hours and watching them fix other people's problems. That way, you learn a lot. I mean, that's kind of cool.
well, that's what I was going to say. So you do learn a lot. Like you'll learn a lot. So right here, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the call. So like Ronan might have a question that takes 10 minutes. Kieran might have a question that takes 30 minutes. I just keep it on in the background. I work while I'm on it, and I raise my hand, and it happens.
Awesome. One more, or a couple more questions about Marcus AI and what additional costs that it may have. Are we using our own API keys for ChatGPT? Any other limitations as to what it can and can't do? Like, what else are we paying for?
Yeah. So no, the only thing you have to use is your your ChatGPT account. So like, I use this every day, all day. I use it on 4.0 or 4.0 mini. And so like,
what's the price for that? I remember ChatGPT, when the original one was super cheap and then it just started getting more and more expensive. What is, like, let me see what it's
no, it went the other way around. So like December,
did it?
yeah, December, I spent $1.73.
3.5
I
kilowatt. I went up.
no,
$1.73. How much usage did you have? Let me see. Is there numbers? Can you?
Yeah, there's a way. Activity, here it is. I did
But basically, bottom line
tokens.
is it's negligible, right? Is that what that's what everybody can agree on the call?
Yeah,
that using Marcus
you're
AI,
not. You could use this every
notices
day, all day, and it would cost you no more than $5 a month.
Yeah, and
Like
well,
it's.
if you throw in 20 clients or so, I guess it goes up by a couple bucks, right? Is that what we're saying?
I have a couple clients. I'll show you this.
I think Todd's asking what does Marcus cost? That's not ChatGPT. Marcus costs 13 cents a minute, right?
No.
Am I wrong?
No, yeah, that's voice AI. The Ava voice AI cost 13. I think it's 16 cents a minute, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Marcus, which is just text-based. Now, inside Go High Level, no, it's okay. Inside Go High Level, I think it's 0.0007 cents a text message. I think. So
I
let's see.
I saw another platform that charged like 3 cents a reply, and there's so many different pricing models of this. And so, yeah, never mind. We answered that already. So, all right, 597, huh? That's pretty bang for the buck, or pretty good for the money, I guess. I mean, sounds it sounds a little more expensive than some of the others.
You have 24/7. You have 24/7. Support. Like they're basically, and these guys are the best guys in the industry. There's no one else out there that's doing what they have. Like they will give you all their SOPs. They'll give you everything that you need to be successful. Like that's what it is.
Oh,
I don't know
all
how
right.
much it is
So
per text message.
what is RE
I I've
Digital?
I've set I've
Is
set
that?
this is
Oh,
my
that's real high
agency.
level. Okay, see,
So
gotcha.
I sent almost 800 text messages and it's $41 in the month of January. Last month I sent 2,000, which is pretty wild. That's $125. But it's okay. I mean, it's part of my business. Like I have to. Um, so it depends on how many. Like I sent 4,200 emails to everybody in my thing, and it's $3.
And those are just
So
additional go high level fees.
yeah,
Those are
you have to
just
pay these. Like this is
yeah.
whatever go high level charges.
Right.
Um,
And all your sub accounts, they pay their own usage, right?
yeah, because I have SaaS turned on, so all these sub accounts pay
Oh,
their
that,
excuse me,
what
pay
is
their
the
own.
what is SaaS being turned on? So SaaS mode is the 497 a month. I don't have that because I don't need it yet. But why
Yeah,
do you need
that's
the
based.
SaaS?
So you can put their credit card in, and it charges them instead of
Oh,
you having to bill
okay.
them for their usage and
Mhm.
then collect their money.
And that's the
So
only
you
reason
get
why. That's the only reason why it's that. That's nothing. There's nothing else to it.
You can rebuild and mark up with
Yeah,
SaaS.
you can rebuild. So
Oh.
like if
Mm.
I spent $125, I could probably, charge my client 225 and make $100 off this. So you can rebill for whatever it is.
Right.
And then also they have API and direct API integration. So if you got really advanced and you want to access GHL's API to do different automations, then you had to be on the 497 plan. That's like if you wanted to build your own Marcus or you wanted to build your own AI chatbot and connect it directly with uh, the playground and ChatGPT, then you need the API to speak with your server to ChatGPT's server so that you can build your own stuff inside there. What else?
How
Yeah,
does one question I have, how does Marcus learn the ins and outs of someone's business through scraping a URL or uploading PDFs or can you log into the admin or the back end of Marcus so we can sort of see some of the
yeah. I mean, the only back end of it is this. I'll show you. So you have your automation. You have two workflows. You have a sales pipeline and a DVR pipeline. That's it. So the sales pipeline is you have the AI assistant and then you have the automations. So here, these three right here, 0.000, these are ones that I built. So this is before it gets to Marcus. Where it starts is right here, communication start. So you have communication start, it comes through and you have all your triggers of however you want it to go. Like you have, they submitted a form. I have it set up as tags. This can be set up however you want. There's endless opportunities. You can do whatever you want in here. This is what it comes with right here. So you have your Facebook form, your Facebook lead, your WhatsApp. Like I don't even use WhatsApp. I could delete this. Live chat. I don't even have a website. I could delete this. Facebook. I don't even use my Facebook business page. I could delete that. So these three I don't even use. Instagram, if someone comments on my Instagram post and puts agency, then it goes through you. SMS, I use this all the time. And then these are all my purchases on my website. So if you purchase anything from me, it's going to go through and it's going to, have things automated. Now that's the communication start. Once it goes through there, it moves into the router sequence and or the smart follow-up. The router is this is the RAG model. So this is a RAG AI. You basically have different assistants. So right here, I'm not going to share my API key on the internet just in case someone watches this and they want to try to steal it and use my API key. But you would basically just change the assistant role. So the back end, everything is handled inside here, inside your assistants. So you have, I gotta go. So all of these assistants, these are where you put your prompting. And then you can upload all your files that it needs. Like, I don't know, you might have a frequently asked question uh, model, like a document. All of these assistants are your RAG model. So instead of having one assistant trying to handle everything, you break up each one of these into a task, the context, the speaking style, the conversation flow, a scenario, and then I have product fit and recommendations. So the AI goes out and it will find and see like, okay, this is the ideal customer profile. Uh, the ideal customer profile is an emergency agency owner. They want hands-on project support. Their key features: 12 weekly live calls. Who is it for? And I can separate this now so that it can hand off to the right bot to go and sell whatever it is they need to sell, right? And so you have your rules and your frequently asked questions. How this works is when someone comes here and the AI responds with whatever the ideal customer profile is, it comes back over here and then it will switch the role to whichever one that we need, and then it updates it again. So then it updates it, and then now it gets handed off to, someone that purchased the high ticket prospecting course. And so now there's no hallucination within the bot. Have you ever worked with AI and you ever worked with it? It's like, man, why can I not drill this down? Why is it not like it's close, but it's not right? It's because it's going through too many prompting things. So you separate it and you break it up into different parts and it bounces around on the back end. But then after when the conversation's over, it'll bounce back to the original one and it saves. So here's where the memory is. Like I can go to a contact. I'll go to, I have no idea who this is, but I can go here and now I can see okay, this is the assistant ID that it was using. I can match that up and see which one it was talking to. But then I can see, okay, here's all the messages that it had so that in the future, 6 months from now, all of this, if there was a full conversation, all of this gets uploaded. Some of this is like super long. In 6 months, or if I do a database reactivation, it will go through and it will now speak individually with each person because I have the chat history here for the AI to communicate with it. So this one, some of them can be very long depending on if the prospect had a long conversation. It'll all be here. I'm trying to think of someone that I would have that with, or I could just go to watch conversations and I'll just go to recent and somebody, I don't know. You know
Follow me
why?
at the top.
Yeah, but I don't think it was talking to you.
No, only about 2 years, I believe.
I think
So
yeah.
again, whenever you sell one of these big packages and chat, chat bot, I guess what we'll call chat agents, and you have a company that needs to get it all done, get it all set up, and you're brand new, you don't have a clue. That's where these guys come in and help you service this company.
Yeah, I think maybe you missed the beginning of this call, but my process,
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to send this to you because me and Bobby had a really good conversation about the process of how all of this works in a streamlined, seamless fashion to where I'm able to sell $90,000 worth of builds in the past 5 months. And it's basically, I get the clients, I go out, I sell it to them, and I hand it off to Adam and Brendan, and I never speak to the client again. They handle everything for me. And that's the way that I'm able to scale this. So I started out in the 497 group, and now I'm on the $2,000 a month group, but I'm bringing in 18 grand a month. I have expenses that I have to pay, but I'm walking away with, eight, nine, $10,000 a month just from doing this and scaling this out. So,
Oh, so there is a $2,000 a month fee, price plan to have them service your
it,
customers.
if you want to be in the partner program,
Yeah,
there's two.
that's what I was looking
Yeah.
at too. What is that about?
Well, I always tell people like if you don't have a system in place to bring in the clients right away, it's not worth it.
Right.
It's really not worth it until you have like 4 or 5 clients a month to hand off. If you have one client here, like Teresa, for instance, she has a few clients that she can handle herself. There's no reason to join the partnership program until she recently did, because now she's getting, 4 or 5 clients. Especially when you get into a bigger build, like I'm gonna be proposing a $38,000 build on Tuesday. I was supposed to do it on Friday, but the guy he's so busy that he can't even make it to a meeting. And I'm like, bro, see, this is what we're gonna fix. And so,
Mhm.
like for a $38,000 build, I have no interest in even sitting down and trying to crack the code to build that. I just hand it off to Adam and Brendan. My goal is to just keep getting those 38,000, $25,000 builds where I keep 60% of the money. So I'll keep 60% of 38 grand for not doing anything other than just finding the client. And for
That's
me, that's worth it.
that's the
That's
split.
worth it.
That's the split is on the setup fee. Is that what I'm hearing, or is it? Do you also charge a monthly fee? You charge a monthly
Yeah,
fee, right?
well, I'll charge a monthly fee for this, but they don't take any of the monthly. Adam and
Okay,
Brendan
so
don't take any of the
it's
monthly.
just the implementation. Let's call it.
Yeah, just the
The
implementation.
build, the build.
Exactly.
I think builds
Yeah.
the word I keep hearing. So $38,000. How do you quote that? Is it just like is there some sort of document that the company gives you, or you just kind of like, whoa, this is a lot of stuff going on here. It's going to be really expensive. How do you
I'll
learn
show
how to
you. I'll
quote
show
something?
you.
Because you
Oh
wouldn't want
man,
to you wouldn't want to underprice it, and then Brendan be like, oh, you do you we can't do it for this little amount, right?
you're in for a treat when you watch today's episode because
Okay.
I just went through this, and if you bought my sales calls, you'll see the entire process. But I'll show you real quick of what we do. So I'll go over it quickly. I have a 10 to 15 minute call with a potential client. I always sell them on a second phone call, which is a project scope document. That project scope document, they pay $250 just to show up to the meeting with me. This is what I build for them. I do it in chicken scratch, and then I send this to Adam and Brendan. They watch the recorded call. They take the transcript from the Fathom, and they use AI and they put all of this together. So this document is what Adam and Brendan built for me from my $250 project scope call. So we get the goals, we go through the improved tracking and reporting, streamlined fee, outcomes of what the client needs, the deliverables. This is their entire pipeline. So they have a new lead pipeline, a webinar registration pipeline, a VSL funnel pipeline, a booking pipeline. They're in a school program, so school pipeline, registered for school, 7-day free trial, trial ends, converted to paid member. Then we build out if they need a funnel and a website. We have to have a webinar funnel, we have to have a VSL funnel, we have a school registration funnel, we have a booking funnel, consultation funnel. And then they build out the forms and the surveys. And now here's the workflows and automations. So the goal, the trigger, the actions, the goal, the trigger, the actions, the goal, the trigger, the actions for each individual one. And then what happens from here is I present this to the client. This is my third call. I go through this step by step, line by line. We make changes to it, and then I present this to them. We're going to spend 2 weeks gathering more information. I'll show you what that's going to look like in a second. It's going to take 8 weeks to build. We'll test it and give you feedback for 2 weeks. We'll train you and your team, and then we'll give you 3 months worth or 3 weeks worth of like a warranty phase. If anything else happens, we'll fix it. It costs 38 grand. Now, Mr. Client, when you start working with me, what we're going to do is that document was maybe 6 pages, 7 pages. We're going to build out a detailed scope document, which that 7-page document now will turn into a 75-page document that we will put together. This is what Adam and Brendan do. and they put together a 75-page document of exactly how this will be built inside Go High Level. This is every single thing down to the triggers, the tags, the emails, the prompts, every single thing that needs to be completed is fully documented so that you and I, Mr. Client, are on the same page. And this way, we do not need to go through any sort of mishaps. This will be streamlined. When we say it will be completed in 8 weeks, it will be completed in 8 weeks. And this is the way that Adam, Brendan, myself, and everybody in the group operates. So Adam and Brendan have taught me how to easily pass off work to them through following their SOPs. And this is basically their SOP. So I have that call with them. And I mean, this is 75 pages of how this is built inside Go High Level. Like
that's a lot. So,
yeah. And
let me ask you a question, or you're almost done. I was going to give some
it's
more.
okay.
No, I was just going to say, is this an outlier? Like, are most clients, 12 pages? This is an outlier. This is a $38,000 outlier, and everyone else is, 3,500.
No, I don't take any. I don't really take any build on less than 10 grand at this point now. In the
Really?
beginning, in August, I was doing 3,000 and 4,000. Now it's minimum 10 grand. 12,500.
How do you target how do you target the prospects that you feel like are going to have that much complexity in their needs? How do you target that, right? I mean, you don't know that unless you unless you have a call with them, and you're saying that if it's not 10 grand, I mean, you don't want to just overcharge them like just like a typical local service provider.
I go right here to Upwork and I find people that actually need it. I don't do anything other than this.
Really, that's their main source of. Okay.
This is the secret sauce right here. This is people
I
that
saw this training. I watched this.
Look, design for digital collateral and sales materials, estimated budget 10 grand. They spent 300 grand. What's 38 grand to them?
Right, that's badass.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll go in here. These guys have spent $200,000. I mean, this is content and marketing manager. Like that doesn't apply to me. But I'll go in here and someone will say, oh, my budget is $5 to $35 an hour. I have closed people for $12,000 deals that have 5 to 35. I don't look at this. I fix I provide the solutions to their problems, and money no longer becomes a problem when they actually have a real business. So I find real business owners that have real problems, and the money is no longer the factor. Again, this is what we went over with earlier in the call. This is what you'll see inside my courses is money is no longer a factor when I get done with my sales calls, because I have pinned them in a position where they see the value of, for every dollar they put in, they're going to receive $5 back. Why would you not put $1 million in and get 5 million back? So there's a little bit of a sales learning curve or tactic that I would call it, but I ignore 15 hourly, $15 to $35. That means nothing to me. Like that absolutely means nothing to me. Here's a sales funnel specialist. That's my foot in the door. Yeah, I can build you a sales funnel. How are you going to keep up with all these leads? Right? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? So we went into it. These guys spent 50 grand. They wanted to spend, they had a budget for 3 grand, but I just sold them Marcus AI, and now it's a $13,000 build. Right? So I go to where these people are sitting. I don't go and do cold calling. I don't go anywhere to web and app development for payment integration and AI chatbot. $0 Switzerland. This doesn't bother me. The $0 the Switzerland does, because they're in a different time zone and communication is hard. If this was the United States, I'd probably apply to that. It's just the time zone is hard to talk to them. Fiverr is the same way. I mean, these people are all sitting right here. And the cool thing is today's Sunday, but even on Sunday, I mean, 11 minutes ago, this was posted, 25 minutes. If everybody on these calls applied to 10 jobs a day, there's still not enough competition. Like there's no way that we would be stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Is you spill the beans on this to all of us, and we're all
No,
applying for the
because I
same
mean,
ones.
every 5 minutes there's a new, like today's Sunday, so there's not many posts. Tomorrow there'll be 400 new jobs here every single day. It's just
Wow.
rotating. I mean,
Is this page a specific keyword search? Did
you
you?
can type in anything. I think I just have chatbot in here. I
Oh,
mean, you could
okay.
type in like,
Yeah,
you could type in go high level. You could type in
yeah.
whatever.
I'm
But
sorry,
I have
man.
to get going. The doctors are telling us to leave. We already paid. Sí, lo siento. Estamos saliendo. Ah, ok. Ok, perfecto. Sí, necesito todo. Gracias.
158. Entonces ustedes dejaron un depósito de 30.000.
Ajá.
La diferencia, aquí está la cuenta con todo desglosado, son la suma de esas dos cantidades. Esta por hospital
Ok.
y esta por honorarios médicos. Esta es la cantidad que se le
Ah,
puede devolver a la tarjeta.
ok, entonces eso es el precio para todo. No.
11.900 fue el costo de todo.
Ok. Déjame terminar mi reunión y voy a hablar contigo afuera, ¿está bien? Ah, ok.
Pero me quería dejar hablando de todo.
Ok. Dame como 5 minutos. Ok, gracias. Lo siento. Okay, sorry. What was the question? I'm sorry.
I don't think there was one. We were just. Last question I had was what keywords you were using, like pull up all those jobs. And so the 997 per month is just the splits different.
Yeah, it's 60/40 is
40, yeah.
60% go high level mastery, 40% you. The tier 2 is 2,000 a month, and that is 60/40, 60% you, 40% go high level mastery. And that's really like, my suggestion. I don't know where you are in your business or what you do completely 100%, is join just the go high level mastery VIP, where it's, inside, you're in there with the support until you start getting into a system, a process of landing, 4 or 5 clients a month and then just passing off the work to Adam and Brendan.
That's the mistake I made.
And the get shit done guys are in here too. They're part of this.
Yep. In the partnership program, you gain access to all the GSD stuff.
All right, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. A lot of help. That's good.
Yeah.
Especially for those that are just learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Well, it's also it's I would say for those who are just learning is the VIP program. For those who are established and have a full-on agency that just need help with fulfillment and like passing off the work, like they have everything in line to get the deals and get the clients. The fulfillment side is, instead of spending 100 grand building out a team and giving people a salary and trying to piece together things through, people from Pakistan and Lithuania and building all that out. For me, I'm like, you know what, 60%, I'll give you 40% all day. I don't have to deal with it. Like, it's not I can be more focused on getting the deals and making the sales than building out a whole nother business within my business to fulfill this. Because the second that I screw up, they're going to do a chargeback. I've already paid my employees, and all of a sudden I don't get the money back. And who lost? I lost. I paid my employees. I can't get rid of them. I can't take the money back from them. They did all the work. And then now all of a sudden someone did a chargeback. Well, yeah, maybe I could get a wire transfer. That would be better. But it's like, I'm not going to put myself at risk when somebody else has already all this out and it works. And that's Adam and Brendan. And that goes back to what I was telling Bobby and everybody earlier, is like, I've had things ripped out from underneath me, my Airbnb business, my Amazon business, You know, I was trading crypto back in the day with Robinhood. They turn off my Robinhood trades out of nowhere. Like they're all in control. With this, we don't have that. But if I were to go and figure this out and one of my employees quit and I have a $38,000 build out and I need to do this, it's just I'm not going to take that risk. 40% is worth that risk for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it sounds like they definitely know what they're doing to take off. Oh, I mean, looking at that document that you were showing us is like, oh my God, that is so granular. I don't think I've ever seen something so granular for just a chatbot. I've never seen that. I've seen other people flow them out, but that thing
Well, these are custom builds. This is
massive.
not just a chatbot. This is a custom entire build for
From
their
inside
business.
of GHO, the workflow and
Yeah,
everything.
the chatbot is like, 15%
Part of it.
of the
Got it. Got it.
So, but yeah, guys, I've been on here for
I
2.5
too.
hours. I gotta take my girlfriend back. I'm in the hospital. She was sick today. I need to leave. I need to make some payments. So I appreciate everybody's time. I hope all of this was helpful. If anyone needs any links or anything, just shoot me an email and I'll get it back to you.
Yeah, Jeff, by the way, that is me. But don't get it twisted. I brought him in.
Okay.
He joined our situation and then it got kind of wacky. But yeah, that's me.
All right, cool. No
Bye,
worries.
guys.
All right. Well, thank you guys and have a good week.
Bye, Nick.
See you guys. Bye.